Alright guys, and it looks like we're just in time to hit game 5 between Zenstyle and Puffin. We have Puffin rolling with his Oil Rogue and Zenstyle rocking the Tempo Mage. Now, Zenstyle's hand is going to be very interesting because he's already got the Mana Worm and a lot of low cost spells. And wow, the second Mana Worm, very interesting. He has a lot of power in these first 3 or so turns, and Puffin won't have very many ways to handle it other than to go reactive. Most likely he will need to eviscerate and use the preparation with it in order to help with the SI7 agent being effective, but historically Tempo Mage has the advantage over Oil Rogue, but we'll see how this matchup ends up. This is game number 5, and it's been a very tense series, so this is bound to lead to some very dramatic upsets and such. Zenstyle is just going to play the Sorcerer's Apprentice and Force 1. I don't think that was going to be very powerful in itself, because now Puffin will have the full board clear with Eviscerate and SI7 agent. It might have been better to do the second Mana Worm, then coin out the Sorcerer's Apprentice. It forces out more damage, but I think this is still acceptable. It does leave a 3/3 on the board for Zenstyle, using 2 spells to buff it up and doing 2 additional damage to Puffin's face. Now, Puffin's in a very awkward situation. He needs to choose how to handle this Mana Worm, whether with Eviscerate and attack then re-equip the weapon, or perhaps just throwing the oil out. Looks like he wants to throw the oil out. I guess saving the Eviscerate is more efficient because you can use it in more combo mechanics at the lower cost. So the oil goes to create another Mana Worm, and okay. Now Zenstyle, oh my gosh, Mirror Image and Mirror Entity combination, and it's being played by Zenstyle. Now, the 2 little mirrors do help protect Zenstyle from some face damage. However, the Blade Flurry in Puffin's hand could have really punished that play had he not played the Sludge Belcher to stop the damage. Fireball, and then kill the little sludge with the Belcher. There is a good way of contesting that off of the Mirror Entity. Now for Puffin, he has to choose whether to clear the board now or later. It looks like he's going to go with later. He plays the Drake so that he can cycle in 1 more card, and that's very good play because as a rogue, he doesn't have very many draw mechanics other than sprint. And he needs to reload his hand because there's not a lot of power, and wow. Kel'Thuzad from the Unstable Portal could prove to be a very scary situation for the future, because if these taunts die and Kel'Thuzad is played, then he'll just get a bunch of taunts back. However, Puffin's going to have the sap, so in case he needs to pull back any big bodies, he'll have that opportunity. And the Loatheb also restricts Zenstyle from doing very much. Like, the only things he could really do are either Azure Drake or Kel'Thuzad for body. I mean, I guess he could play Archmage Antonidas as a body, but I'm pretty sure you want to use Antonidas for fireball development. Now Puffin is going to have an incredible amount of power now with that sprint. He can reload his hand, and that will allow him to find some extra resources. Maybe backstab, maybe another or minion or two, because Oil Rogue also doesn't have very minions, so having a few minions here and there to play when you need them is going to be very useful, and drawing both backstabs will also come in handy. But it looks like the deadly poison and then just clear the board play is Puffin's objective in this. I'd say that was a good play. Now, Zenstyle also has a way of reloading his hand with the Arcane Intellect. Flamewaker and Shredder are both very, very potent cards. Now, Zenstyle has to choose here for how he wants to win, because it looks like he's going with Kel'Thuzad for the large body. However, Puffin has the sap in hand, so he'll just be able to completely wipe that out. And with that Violet Teacher off the top, it just makes it a lot more easy, because he also spawns a little dude and returns Kel'Thuzad. So now he's an 8 mana card rather than that 5 mana card. Archmage. Okay, so the reason why Zenstyle wants to play Archmage now is because this is probably the only time he's going to be able to develop fireballs in this game. And it looks like he's going to need them primarily for clearing out these bodies. Puffin, he does have a lot of ways to remove Antonitis, however he's going to have to play this carefully. He believes it could be a mirror entity based on what he's seen, but what he doesn't know is that it's a counterspell! Now, counterspell is a very interesting decision from Zenstyle. It's very potent in very spell heavy matchups. So against decks that Puffin brought, such as the Freeze Mage, each counterspell is just incredibly insane. And now Puffin's just going to use the Blade Flurry and the Backstab to clear, and then he's just going to force all the damage onto Zenstyle's base. He's putting him on as big of a time, well, not as big, or rather, he's putting him on a relatively short timer. And however, Zenstyle isn't dead yet. Thankfully, he has ways to remove the loaded with the fireball, and then with the Flamewaker shots, he'll be able to get rid of the little dudes. Mirror Image will also help clear out a few dudes and stop damage. And Zenstyle saying that nothing can stop him apparently, but it doesn't look like that will be the case. Dr. Boom will pretty much shut him out of just about any possible play, because taking 7 damage to the face is already game, even with these 2 taunts. But with the prep Blade Flurry, and he's going to re-equip the dagger and kill the other taunt with the dude, he can just force as much damage as humanly possible, and just to make sure he kills off the Flamewaker. Now, this Ethereal Conjure is going to need to give him something good like a Frost Nova, and unfortunately Cone of Cold is not enough. It looks like that is game for Puffin. He wins this very, very intense Game 5. He's going on to the Grand Finals in the 2016 America's Winter Championship. Congratulations to Puffin. Very well fought from Zenstyle. Puffin puts down the heal bot to make to add insult to injury, but it looks like this is game, guys. Oh my gosh, that was a very, very close back and forth game, with Zenstyle having the good lead early, but then Puffin being able to just edge it out in the end.